give us few warning signs. If danger is near. Danger is near. Danger is near.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about Passenger, which looks to be a movie that a lot of people are either going to love or some people might hate. I think there's probably going to be a lot more people who just don't like this movie. Based on it only recently releasing the full trailer, maybe I missed when the full trailer came out, but I've only ever seen the teaser trailer up until last week. That's usually a worrying sign, along with anybody who is saying that it's one of the scariest movies they've seen in years or decades or of all time. And I usually take all of that with a grain of salt because it's usually off the mark by a lot. The teaser trailer had me intrigued by this film and what it could be, but then I was a little lukewarm on the actual full trailer when I finally realized that the movie is just about this couple who decides to go do the van life thing, and during their journey across the country, they happen to cross an accident that they stop for, and this is where they pick up this unwanted passenger who begins to torment them. This is directed by Andrew Orvdahl, who did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Troll Hunter, Last Voyage of the Demeter, and Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I liked all the movies I've seen of his so far, except I haven't seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter, so I can't really comment on that one, but I did enjoy the rest of the movies on this list. And this is from first-time writer T.W. Burgess and Zachary Donahue. The main cast being Lou LaBelle, who plays Maddie, and she was in Foundation. And then you have Jacob Scipio, who plays her partner Tyler, who was in Bad Boys 3 and 4 as Will Smith's son. Yeah, I think it was Will Smith's son. 3 I never cared for. I thought that was not a great movie, but I did enjoy Bad Boys 4. And he was also in Expendables 4, which was not a great movie either. And you have a small appearance by Melissa Leo here, who plays a wandering traveler named Diana, who they've come across a number of their trips as they're meeting up with different van life groupings. So the biggest issue with this movie is the pacing, because even though it does have aspects of the trailer is basically the beginning of the movie, but you've already seen it. So if you've seen the teaser trailer, if you've seen the beginning of the movie, then it cuts to Maddie and Tyler starting their journey. And when they come across the wreck is when they pick up this passenger, and that's where Maddie starts being haunted. They have a lot of start stops. So, go to one meetup, drive, get haunted at night, go to meetup, drive, haunted at night, do something their day, drive, get haunted at night. It's just this repetitiveness of them being tormented by this entity, which they do learn about slowly out the film, especially when they meet Diana and talking to some of the nomads at some of these van life meetups. And so you do understand that it's kind of this demon who was pretending to be a priest. And I don't know if that's really a spoiler, but I did find the demon to be very underwhelming, mainly just because it has typical powers. They do a few interesting things with lights and shadows and what you perceive that you are seeing. The character alone and the design and what he does is pretty bland. It's pretty boring. He looks like an amalgamation from the Phantasm guy, from the Poltergeist guy, and then also one of the people that's in the upcoming Insidious movie. He looks like one of those demons, especially the first one that's in the dentist chair. So found the demon very boring. It didn't really do anything for me. I can see why some people might like this movie, but for me, it just didn't do anything. There was a little bit with some of the character building about Maddie and Tyler and their differences and opinions on doing the van life thing, but a lot of the scares, a lot of the tension and buildup just wasn't there. There are some scenes, what's going to happen based on what is going on, so I could call everything out. There's one scene that kind of surprised me, but I was like, okay, I don't know why they did this. That doesn't make a lot of sense based on the previous experiences that you've seen with this entity. When it comes to like a road horror movie, you need something a little bit more. In this one, it covered too much time instead of being taking place over a single day or a single night. It does follow a number of days into like a week, it appears. And it does do a few things that are kind of creepy, especially in the beginning of some of the forest scenes where you're hearing these strange things in the woods and the demon is slowly tormenting by banging on their van wall or making these crackling noises. It almost sounds like there's maybe some kind of monster that's in the woods, especially at the beginning of the movie before you actually realize what the passenger is, even though they have it in the trailer. This some demon looking dude. They also do some stuff with some dash cams and some of the van camera footage that are supposed to be scary, but I never really got any fright out of that. A lot of the jump scares didn't really do anything for me. And I do have to say, for the most part, the film is adequately made. It's not a bad movie. It just doesn't really dive deep enough or provide enough intrigue for it to interest myself. You may like it. I know I definitely didn't. And one of the biggest things I would say, if you are susceptible to any kind of motion sickness, there are some camera spins in this movie that I found a little bit annoying, and they weren't very effective. And it came up a number of times. One of them happened in one of the parking lots, and that one just lingered for way too long, and like the motion blur on it just kind of gets to you. So warning there, if you're queasy a little bit from spinning stuff, there are a number of scenes in this movie that have spinning. So if you're maybe bored one day, you might find something to enjoy here. If you like stuff from the early 2000s, you might like this movie. Unfortunately for me, it didn't do anything. I found it lacking in a lot of areas, especially in kind of the intrigue and the frightfulness, or any kind of scariness whatsoever. So I'd give Passenger 2 stars.